It's DSP's Game of the Year Awards 2009. Top 10 Best Games of the Year. So now let's talk about our second nominee for Game of the Year, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Modern Warfare 2 also has an outstanding campaign just like Uncharted 2. However, it is important to note that the campaign of Modern Warfare 2 is only about 6 hours long, while Uncharted 2 clocks in at about 8 to 10 hours. The story of Modern Warfare 2 picks up about 5 years after the events of the end of Call of Duty 4, and basically, at the end of that game, you assassinated Zakhaev, who was the terrorist leader in Russia, and you find out now that basically Soap McTavish, who had been the main character of the first game, has now become the captain of Task Force 141, which is a multinational commando unit that basically goes around the world doing special missions to try to take down terrorism. And throughout the campaign, you'll take the roles of several different soldiers around the world. Some of the most noteworthy thing about the campaign is that there's a lot of variety of gameplay. You know, for first-person shooters, usually you think, oh, it's just going to be run around and shoot everybody. But here you've got all kinds of stuff, like snowmobile races and shooting and sniping from helicopters and raiding prisons and doing all kinds of things that normally in a first-person shooter you wouldn't expect. It really adds a lot of variety to the gameplay. It also keeps the game very fast-paced, which is a good thing. I never for once in the game felt like I was getting bored or that the game was getting stale. I felt like it was an excellent pace, and it definitely kept me entertained the entire time I was playing through the campaign. Now, there are two things worth mentioning in the campaign. If you remember Call of Duty 4's campaign, one of the most noteworthy thing that everyone was talking about was that Infinity Ward actually put in a nuclear explosion, and one of the characters that you play as actually dies as a result of the nuke. And that's pretty much the first time in a game where you've been thrown into that kind of a realistic situation. Well, in Modern Warfare 2, there's actually two unique situations. The first is when you're actually playing an undercover U.S. agent who actually goes so deep into cover that he's now working with these Russian nationalist terrorists, and unfortunately you kind of get forced to play this mission called No Russian, and this is the one that everyone's heard of. It's so controversial, where you're pretending to be a terrorist to infiltrate them, and they actually go into an airport in Russia and just start mowing down innocent people. And I have a couple thoughts about this. Now, when I actually did play this mission, I joked around and I tried to make light of it because I knew it was a pretty dark part of the game. I'm sure that a lot of people are going to choose to skip this part of the game because they don't want to take part in actually, even pretending to, kill innocent people. But keep in mind something when you do this. How many years have we been playing these games? Have we been pretending to do this? How many World War II games have we played? How many billions of virtual Nazis have we slaughtered? I mean, at this point, you got to just get some thick skin and say, I understand what they're going for here. They're trying to make the subject matter very serious, very adult. They're trying to go from the realm of game to the realm of almost work of art, and so you have to kind of understand what they're going for. I think it was great that Infinity Ward had the balls to put a scene like this in the game. Was it necessarily needed? Probably not, and it probably is going a little bit too far, but let's not dwell too much on it. The other part of the game that everyone talks about is the Washington stage, where you're at the nation's capital and you're a ground troop there, and basically the Russians invade and they destroy the capital. It's just pretty epic to see some of your most famous national landmarks just get destroyed and blown apart in front of you, so that's a really cool and unique part of the campaign. But outside of that, I mean, everyone wants to talk about the multiplayer. Let's face it, Modern Warfare 2 primarily was a game made for the multiplayer. The multiplayer gameplay of Call of Duty 4 pretty much revolutionized where the first-person shooter genre was going, and this game just follows suit. There's some new stuff to add. There's a lot more new guns. There's now death streaks as opposed to just regular kill streaks. There's a hell of a lot more kill streaks to use, including different kinds of choppers, missiles, and of course, if you're good enough, the nuke. But I definitely thought that this game followed the footsteps of the Call of Duty 4, improved upon a lot of things. There's obviously always going to be issues with a first-person shooter, especially when you're the premier one online. Like, for example, there's problems with the spawns, there's problems with camping, there's problems with hacking right now, which is kind of hilarious because I haven't seen hacking on a scale like this since Counter-Strike. But what are you going to do? The multiplayer is what it is. It's really damn good, and it's pretty much the best first-person shooter gameplay you can get in a multiplayer setting right now. So overall, Modern Warfare 2 also had a great campaign, just like Uncharted 2, but combined with the multiplayer is also a pretty damn good package. And for me to give my honest review of this game, because again, I didn't get to review it, I have to say that Modern Warfare 2 in my mind is also a 9. So Uncharted 2, Modern Warfare 2, both getting 9s. So I got a pretty tough decision to come up with here. And to be honest with you, I can see reasons why either of these games should be called Game of the Year for 2009. And let me just assure you that I realize that my opinion is important to a lot of people. For my thousands of subscribers who have followed along with me and played through all the games this year, they really want to know what I feel is the best game. And so I need to come up with an answer. So Modern Warfare 2, Uncharted 2, both great games. Next time, I will announce Game of the Year 2009.